the Sexual Violence Legal Service is a legal service for victims and survivors of sexual violence. It is, however, more than just a legal service, and it does provide wraparound legal and non-legal support for clients. Operationally, there'll be 3 primary functions of the service, and that will be legal support, social work, and a justice system navigator role. Legal Services also has a financial counsellor who clients can be referred to for support as appropriate. Each of these roles will work collaboratively to provide trauma-informed and client-centred support. The Sexual Violence Legal Service will operate as a health justice partnership with Metropolitan Youth Health and with the Hearts Division broadly. Sexual violence occurs when consent to a sexual activity is not freely given or obtained, is withdrawn, or cannot be given due to factors including age or other reasons. It occurs when someone is forced, coerced, or manipulated into a sexual activity. It can include, among other things, sexual harassment, sexualised touching, rape, or encouraging or coercing someone to watch pornography. It can occur online by sharing or threatening to share intimate images of someone without their consent. There may have been force or threats, or there may not. If you're unsure whether what you've experienced is sexual violence or you're supporting someone who's unsure, you can refer them to the Sexual Violence Legal Service for support, advice, information and representation as to their options and what they might choose to do going forward. During consultation that was conducted when determining the direction that the program would take, it was identified that young women under the age of 25 are the cohort who experience the greatest unmet legal need in relation to sexual violence, and this has informed the partnership with Metropolitan Youth Health. However, despite this, the program will be available to all South Australians irrespective of their age and gender. Each person who engages with the Sexual Violence Legal Service will have had a different journey, and this will inform how the Sexual Violence Legal Service can best support them. It might be that they experienced sexual violence some time ago, or that this happened quite recently. Perhaps they haven't spoken to anyone about what happened or what they experienced. They might have already made a report to the police about this, and there might be a court matter on foot as a result. Or perhaps the court matter has finalised and they have questions about what this means for them and what their options are now. Depending on each person's experiences and priorities will inform how best the Sexual Violence Legal Service can support them. It might be that they would benefit most from legal support or support from our social worker, from the Justice System Navigator, or from a combination of all 3 of these roles. There are 2 other functions of the Sexual Violence Legal Service which will operate separately from the client-facing support. Firstly, Legal Services are partnering with Aboriginal Legal Rights Movement, who are undertaking a research project into restorative justice options for victims and survivors of sexual violence with a focus on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Secondly, the Community Legal Education team of Legal Services are developing and delivering education for young people on sexual violence and related topics. This will be delivered primarily in schools and educational institutions to increase young people's understanding and knowledge on sexual violence and ensure they know where and how to reach out for support should they need. Studies tell us in Australia 92% of women have not reported their most recent experience of sexual assault to the police. We also know that less than 20% of offences reported to the police result in findings of guilt, and that convictions for sexual offending are decreasing. It is clear that some people do not feel comfortable reporting their experiences of sexual offending to the police, or that they don't feel confident that they'll obtain the outcome that they're seeking. It is not solely a matter for law reform, but also calls on service providers to think differently about how we provide support to people who have experienced sexual violence. The Sexual Violence Legal Service aims to empower victims and survivors to make well-informed decisions about how they choose to respond to sexual offending. The role of a Justice System Navigator is twofold. Firstly, they assist victims and survivors to identify which justice response they choose to pursue. Secondly, should they choose to pursue a criminal justice response, they provide them with assistance to navigate this process. So far, we know that the Justice System Navigator will be delivered in partnership with Relationships Australia, and we're excited by the skills and expertise that clients of the Sexual Violence Legal Service will have available to them should they choose to step through a criminal justice response. We note that this program will be based in the metro regions, and for those living regionally and remotely, we can conduct appointments by phone or by Microsoft Teams, or we can also work collaboratively with other support service to assist us to conduct these appointments. For those whose English is their second language, we can arrange for interpreters, and for those who experience any other barriers in accessing the sexual violence legal service, we encourage you to reach out or to have a support person reach out on your behalf to assist us to arrange that appointment in an appropriate way.